Out in Alberta again on a very windy and very cold day, so my hair is going to be flip-flopping all over the place, and my face is cold. Why did I shave off a perfectly warm beard, considering it's wintertime? Well, you should check out our GH6 shooting a movie scene of Nice Guys video. Go look at that, and then you'll have a better explanation of why I look like this. Welcome back, DPReview TV viewers. It's Chris Nichols here. Today we're going to be talking about filters, the filters that Jordan and I like to use when we're shooting videos and stills, and specifically, we've gotten our hands on brand new H&Y RevoRing magnetic filter holder system. Been testing it out for a few weeks, and we want to just talk about how it works for us and how it compares to some of the other filter systems that we already use. Now, the RevoRing concept has been out for quite a while. It's a very interesting idea that gives you basically like a universal stepping ring. So you can twist the RevoRing, the helicoid's closed down, you can then place it inside your lens, release the helicoid, it then locks into place, give it a twist, and it's set there in the filter threads. And it was a really interesting concept. Comes in a lot of different ranges, you can see here. Today we've got the 67 to 82 millimeter, which we would probably use ourselves the most considering the lenses that we carry. It's not truly universal. You might have to get a few RevoRings to cover the range of lenses that you personally have. And so the basic idea is that I would have this universal stepping ring. I wouldn't have to carry a multitude of stepping rings for each size of lens that I had in my bag. I could just carry one or two RevoRings and very quickly adapt my filters for many different lenses. Now, the only thing I will say, you can still buy the RevoRing stepping ring option, but it does not work with their magnetic system, and that's what we really want to talk about today, because we've been playing with the new magnetic system, and this is very interesting as well. So there's a lot of scenarios where one filter is all you need, right? Are you gonna come say hi? You just want to use a circular polarizer to get rid of reflections, or I just want to use a strong ND to do a long exposure of a river, for example. And in those scenarios, I could see how a universal RevoRing step ring makes a lot of sense, or just traditional stepping rings and screwing in one filter at a time. It's easy. But what if I want to start stacking effects? Well, that's where it becomes complicated, because I don't really like using traditional filters stacked one on top of another, especially when you combine it with something like a circular polarizer. The fact that circular polarizers are usually quite slim and that they rotate means that if you secure those two filters one on top of another, it can be often very difficult to then take them apart again. I'm sure you've been in a scenario like that too, where they're just really difficult to get unstuck. And so we're always looking for solutions to those issues where we want to stack multiple filters. For photography, there might be some situations where I want a polarizing effect with an ND, maybe even a grad filter as well. And Jordan might be in a scenario where he wants polarization, ND, and then maybe like a black mist on top of that. And that's where we want a good solution. So H&Y's magnetic holder system is one very interesting option. The particular one that we've been playing with has a built-in circular polarizer. It rotates here on the mount really nicely. And then the front of that, I get these magnetic filters. And I am really liking this. They're nice and slim. They've got a strong magnet in the holder, so I can just get these in different strengths. 2, 3, 4, and 8.5 stops. And then they just click right on the front like that. Now, the nice thing here is they are very strong. I mean, it takes quite a bit of force to remove them, but I'm also confident they're not going to drop off or get knocked off in many situations. So I just have a couple issues with this system as I've been using it. First off, the magnets are strong, which is good, but it also means that when you clip them back on, they can pinch your fingers, and they undoubtedly always grab my glove there. So it's not the end of the world, but it is a factor. The other thing is that the way they've designed it so far, you can only buy these with either the circular polarizer or polarizer plus variable ND built in. Now, I get that. I mean, I get that having a removable polarizer that would work magnetically might be really difficult from a design standpoint. And so I just don't know why they don't make a stepping ring with just the magnetic attachments without a polarizer or variable ND. I would happily buy that in addition to having one with the built-in circular polarizer, because I really do like these magnetic NDs. I mean, it's a really handy system. I could have one with a polarizer, click it on when I want that effect, and then take that off, put on just the empty stepping ring with magnet, and click that on. Hopefully we'll see something like that in the future. Now, what about for video applications? Well, really it is basically the same situation. Sometimes you want polarizers, but often you don't. Now, if I'm shooting videos on the water for boat trout fitters, doing fly fishing stuff, this unit would actually be fantastic. I always want a polarizer to deal with reflections, and then being able to adjust what kind of strength of ND I have in the front for the shutter speed I want, that'd be great. And there's lots of situations where Jordan also uses polarizers, again, to deal with reflections, get more saturation for landscape shots, things like that. But again, he doesn't always always want that effect, and that's largely why he avoids variable ND filters. They're useful, they're convenient, but they always have a polarizing effect, and you don't always want that. So we still see a scenario where for video work, we'd want to have the option of a RevoRing with magnetic front, but no polarizer built in. So there's a nice advantage here with the H&Y RevoRing, and that's just the size of the whole thing. I mean, this all fits in this tiny case. In here, I've got the RevoRing adapter, I've got the built-in polarizer, of course, attached to it, and I have an ND filter, and I can put this on any lens from 67 to 82 millimeters in filter diameter. Now, this is a drop-in filter system. I like it a lot. This is what I use myself personally. This is the Haida M10 version 2. Now, you can see the case is definitely larger. Okay, I'm trying to keep this as fair as possible. So in here, I have the M10 version 2 holder. I've got the drop-in polarizer for it, and I've got one ND filter that I would use. So not bad, but certainly a little bit larger. But then the other thing is I have to carry rings. So here I've got the 4 rings I would need to go 67, 72, 77, and 82 millimeter filter diameters. Now, from a convenience factor, the RevoRing is nice. You can quickly adapt it. But honestly, I would just attach these onto the lenses that I have with me, and then the M10 clicks on and off really quickly as well. The downside is more just that I've got more parts that I have to carry and take care of. And when I put those on my lenses, it does make them a little bit bulkier in general. Okay, so with the Haida M10 drop-in filter system, yes, I do have to use stepping rings that they make, but there are some real advantages here. So first off, still nice and slim system, and the polarizer, I can rotate it, but I can also remove it. So if I don't want a polarizing effect, that's easy to achieve. They have ND filters that go into that same drop-in holder system, or I can just put in an empty spacer, and that way I don't have a polarizing effect. Then on the front, I've got my slots to hold standard 4x4 inch or 4x6 inch filters. For our metric users, that's 100 by 100 or 100 by 150 millimeter filters. And you probably already have a lot of these. They're very universal. I can use grads, I can use NDs, black mist filters. I mean, sky's the limit. So I really like the versatility of that system. So H&Y is not the only company to use magnets to make filters more convenient, but all the other systems out there seem to be more niche products. I mean, Haida make this magnetic variable ND, and it's cool because I can simply remove this ND filter and replace it with another strength, but it's a niche product. It's just a variable ND. And I feel like the RevoRing design is a very smart, very strong system where I'm never really worried about the filters getting knocked off in the field. Unfortunately, I did lose one of these on the Haida. Don't know where it went. So overall, we've actually been really pleased with the H&Y's optical quality on their filters, and I really do love how compact the whole system is. You know, Jordan, especially when he's shooting our episodes, has to constantly change ND strengths given different lighting conditions. And so he actually has been playing with the RevoRing a lot, and he really likes the concept because it is so convenient to just be able to switch things out very, very quickly. And I think the only challenge really with the RevoRing system is we really want to have one with the polarizer for those situations where we need it, but we also want one without. That means carrying around 2 holding systems. The other thing, of course, being the fact that they're somewhat pricey. And if we want to buy 2 holders, well, it doesn't take up a lot of space in the bag, but it does certainly take a bit of a chunk out of the wallet. Still, it is a very effective system, and none of it seems gimmicky at all. Now, for me taking photos primarily, I could certainly still go the same route as Jordan. I'd want to have the 1 holder with polarizer, and then assuming they make it, a holder without a polarizer. But I've really been liking that magnetic system, and I don't feel like I'm going to drop them or lose them in the field. However, I still do really like the Haida drop-in system because it's a one-stop solution. I can have a polarizer if I want it, take it out if I don't. I can use grad filters if I need to, and I can stack multiple NDs. So my needs are taken care of there with one system. Either way, you'll have to decide which system works better for you, and hopefully this video gives you some clarity in that regard. So as always, please leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about these products, and if you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll be happy to answer those. Otherwise, like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you soon for another episode of DPReview TV.